check, 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 check. Sheesh, gotta be even higher. Going up to 88 on the mic. Check, check, check. Alright, and there's nothing I can do except turn this higher. Check, check, check. Turn this higher. Check, check, check. Alright, now I'm gonna pull up my YouTube. Hey, buddy. We doing this on Google Hangouts or no? All right, that's fine. Let me call you though because I picked up on my phone. I'm gonna call you through my computer. I'll call you right back though. All right, so hang up and I'll call you right back. Okay. All right. This is a problem though. What is that freaking buzzing sound? You know, I bought this headset to prevent buzzing. Oh, I know why. Because, duh. This is. Hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta add a new um, audio. Let me see here. Setup? No. What's this? Properties? Device? Here we go. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna mute this. Turn this on. Check, 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 check. Oh, yeah. That's a beauty. Hello, hello. Okay, now. That's why I was like, why is this not like. Okay, hold on one second. Hold on. Device properties. We're going to go back down to. Let's go to 77. Shout out to my man Rick. Master Ricky D. Check, check, check. Shout out to my man Rick. Whoa, so much better. Check, check, check. Shout out to my man Rick. Whoa, so much better. Yeah. Hold on, let me pull up the chat box. Ew. Yay, yay. What's up, Rick? I wasn't shouting you out before. I was shouting out Rick DeFazio because he's something about number 7 with him. And I just actually spoke to him on the phone today. I saw a license plate. It was QQQ7777. I took a picture of it and I sent it to him. But shout out to you, Rick Salazar. My man, my man. I got your donation today and I'm off babysitting on Friday, so I'm gonna send your tracks out on Friday. There's a new uh, development in my babysitting, which is Monday to Thursday, 10 to 2 is the new is the new schedule. Monday to Thursday, 10 to 2, and the rest of the days, sorry, Friday, no work. So Friday I'm off. But let's see here. I'm gonna call my special guest. Call my special guest right now. All right, let's go. You're welcome, Rick. Thank you, bro. Hey,
You're,
Ray.
you're welcome. Hello.
There he is,
Hello.
my man.
Yes, I am.
Now, let me ask you something.
Sure.
I don't want to be a pain, but I'm gonna have to because, it's like I'm the director of the show and you're the co-star, so I gotta like be picky about certain things.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what kind of let's see, what kind of audio setup do you have right now? Am I on speakerphone or do you have the phone up to your ear?
No, I'm on. You're on my headphones.
Oh, you have a headset.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way to turn up your volume?
Um, I don't know. I'm literally I'm using a cord.
Using a what?
A cord. A cord. A plug-in headphone.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Um, am I low? Should I talk louder? I'm trying not to talk louder.
Yeah, I
Hello?
think
Am I good?
let me just see something on my end if I could do anything. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's why. All right, say hi. My name is Ray Sakalas.
Hello, my name is Ray Sakalas.
Nice.
Sakalas. Am I good
Nice.
now?
Oh, my bad. I put the pronunciation, the emphasis on the wrong word. Sakalas.
Yes.
Wow. Hold on a second. I'm gonna actually do a little uh on-air research.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. Um, because sometimes I get messages, right?
Yeah.
And people are like asking me things, and it's so easy to just like Google things these days. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
so I'm like, I don't want to be rude, so I just go,
Oh.
oh, no problem, I'll Google that for you. It's like they expect you to do all the work. But I Googled your name.
Oh God.
All
What did
right.
you find?
Let's see. British and Irish?
No. Oh, you mean my first name or my last name?
Sakalis.
Sakalas is Greek.
Greek. Okay.
Yeah.
So why did I just clicked the first link?
Oh God.
You don't,
No.
bro. You don't look Greek. You look like a white
I'm not
boy.
Greek. Yes. I'm adopted. You've
Oh,
heard my stories before. All right. I'll send you my stories later.
I'm
But
sorry. I
I'm
have brain
adopted.
damage, bro.
I forgot. I forgot. Too much punches in the head.
I think
I
you're
got you.
you're an important person. I don't want you to think that I don't give a fuck, 'cause I do.
I know you do.
We've
I
known
know you
each
do.
other a long time, bro.
Yes, I've done some weird shit during those times.
Tell me. You said you got some stuff you wanted to talk about. I got I
Oh
have a
my
chat
God.
box over here, so and
Oh
people can
Lord.
people can ask questions and stuff. But let me just
How?
introduce you real quick. I'm gonna click on my Facebook. I'm gonna click
Okay.
on your old profile.
Please do not click on my old profile.
Go on. I thought
Right
I was
away.
talking to you for like a week.
Yes, you were not.
Did you get scammed into like selling stuff on
Yes.
Facebook Marketplace like me?
Kind of, yes. In a weird way, yes. nobody else knows what happened.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I won't blow up your
Basically,
spot then.
I know I was just stupid, and
My
I gave
mom
the
said,
person my
if it
info.
sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Oh, tell your mom I said hi.
Okay. I
If she's
was
on, I don't know.
I was like, "You're going to pay me $600 a week for sending messages on Facebook? Say less."
Yeah, no, that's not me. So that's how you knew it wasn't me. Good lord.
No, I didn't. I thought it was you until like the guy started asking me for my login info, and then I called you.
Yes,
By
no.
then it was too
This is
late.
how this is how you know it's me. If all the words are spelled correctly and it's good grammar. That's how you know that. Well, okay, you can't say good grammar now because I'm using an app called Grammarly. Good
Nice.
plug. Great
Cha-ching.
app. No, it helps you with your grammar and stuff when you're texting and typing. It makes it sound more readable.
Wow.
So yes, so that's what I'm using now for 2 months, and then I have to pay $30. So, um, but besides that, before, as you were texting me, you know that I'm the worst speller and the worst grammar person. If you had somebody probably typing you, they probably had better grammar than I did. That was a good clue that it
Okay.
wasn't me.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the person was
So
a little short with me. Not like rude, but like very impatient.
yeah,
I said, "Dang,
no,
Ray.
yeah, that wasn't
Maybe
me.
you're being
No,
really
no,
cool."
no. So should we explain how we met? I mean, for the viewers, it's
Remind me.
been okay. So
Remind us all.
this was when we were on Facebook.
Hmm.
I first I found you on the Ultimate Fighter, and I thought you were the coolest person in the world. I idolized you. I had a little ski mask like you did and stuff like that.
What?
And then somehow you popped up on my Facebook, and I was like, "Yo, is it really you?" So I messaged you, and you were very kind, and you messaged me back. But then I gave you my number, and we started talking. I was like, "Oh shit!" And you were like, "Yeah, this was before you did the Leagues of Legend, right? Or
Okay.
you were in the midst of doing like your new fighting grappling thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're still doing that now, but this is
My next
before
one
that.
is the end of January.
Okay, see, um, this was before then. I was like, hey, I want to try it out. I was still living with my mom and dad's house, and we were still trying to figure out a way for me to come up to you.
Right.
It never happened. Um,
Well, then I decided to get a tour bus and come to you and pick you up.
yes, yes, and that never happened.
No,
No,
not yet.
no, not
Still
yet. No,
planning on it.
yeah, and then and then I was doing just some weird shit on Facebook that was just making people question who I was. So
I
we
think I
had a
missed that.
little like, well, I don't know. You were dating a girl, and I think I asked a girl a weird question, and it kind of freaked you out. So I'm surprised I'm telling all of this on air, but I don't care anymore. I'm a lot better now. I see a therapist. Thank goodness for therapy. Um, but yeah, like, and then
What's
we
that
got
like?
back together. What, therapy?
Yeah, you like it, you said?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's helped me through a lot of issues. I had a lot of hormone issues. Is that helped at all?
Really?
Yeah, like I was, I didn't know how to express what age is this podcast for?
Oh,
I
it's
don't want
not
to
for
say
kids. It's
anything.
not for kids.
Okay, good. All right. I didn't have a way to express my sexual needs.
Yeah.
Um, Now, and this is kind of like what I want to share with you, and I can share with anybody else. I
Cool.
go to a place that helps you with that.
Really?
Um, more, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so off the cuff. I go to
Nice.
a dungeon.
A dungeon.
Yes,
Wow.
Not like a Stu Hart dungeon for your wrestling fans or anything like that. um, but to a how can I say to a sexual dungeon?
Yeah, I know what a dungeon is.
Okay, cool. I don't want to like you're like what the fuck? Yeah. So I go there
Uh-huh.
and I do my thing is I love balloons. I like it when they're being blown up and stuff like that. So that's what I do when I'm there. I don't hit people or I don't, you know, rope people up or put fire on them. I just ask nice looking females to blow up balloons.
Okay, now hold on
There
one
you go.
second.
Go ahead.
I'm typing in Google here. Do I type in, because when I type in dungeon, it's saying, like in a castle. Do I have to type in
Yeah,
sexual dungeon or what's the word?
probably so.
Sex
Probably
dungeon?
sexual dungeon or 50 Shades of
Oh,
Grey.
there we go. The best dungeons in the U.S. Nice.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna type in just out of curiosity, New York City. I bet you there's some in New York City.
yes.
The
I'm
top.
actually thinking about
You what?
moving up there down the road. I'm actually thinking about moving up there
Oh, because the
down the road.
the community is probably really big.
No, no,
Oh,
because I always want to live in New York and I love
oh,
the accent.
oh.
And
You're not too far away,
yeah,
Maryland, right?
yeah,
I,
yeah. I'm in Maryland. Yeah,
I don't want to dox you, tell people where you
yeah,
live
please
and
don't.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, please
So
don't.
you don't live with your parents anymore?
I do
Lucky.
not. No, I live in a assisted living or AKA group home.
Nice.
For disabled people, it's okay. I'm still trying to figure stuff out.
All right.
You know.
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna get you a place up here. I have a
Oh,
whole building that I live in. It's owned by my dad. I have an
oh,
apartment, but there's two other apartments, and they're both empty. I'm trying to figure out how that I can rent them. Pay my dad and
yeah.
rent those empty apartments, so that I can have you and a couple other people who, want to live here.
Oh, cool.
So that's what my goal is with the League of Champions is to
Do like
be
a
able to
camp,
make it.
kind of.
Say that again.
Do like an indoor camp. Is that what you're thinking about doing? Like a
Yeah, I mean, it's just basically an apartment building, but I
oh
want to
yeah,
have the
but
first floor to be a commercial food service establishment, which basically is a
ooh,
restaurant or a
yeah,
cafeteria, and slash spa, because I'm into
ooh,
natural health food and natural healing, so
yeah.
it could be a place where people could get healthy food but also heal injuries. I have special protocols that I do, special massage therapies that I do and
Oh,
stuff like that for healing injuries and
okay.
stuff. So, but explain to me the thing with the balloons. What do they do with the balloons after they blow them up? Do they let the air out or do they
So
pop them?
yeah, so I don't do the popping thing,
Okay.
especially when it's there. People get scared, and especially if you have fire in hand, you don't want to light nobody on fire and you're popping out. We did that once. It didn't go well. People stared at me. I had to leave. Like, hi.
Yeah.
I just had them blow it up, let the air out, and then if we make out, we make out. If not, it's no
Oh,
harm, no foul. You know
okay.
what I mean? You know,
Wow.
that's my thing.
I'm looking.
Okay, is there any questions on it? I'm surprised like nobody's like typing away. You
Yeah, well,
know?
my show is kind of underground right now, but I'm looking at pictures online.
Oh yeah,
It looks like a nice place. Like it's got lighting and there's all different pieces of equipment and stuff.
yeah,
And do you go by yourself or does somebody go with
yeah.
you?
No, I'll go by myself. It'd be kind of awkward taking somebody with you.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
okay.
It would be. It would be.
I'm looking at a picture here. Wow, this looks really. They got these nice couches, leather
Yeah,
cushions. But
yeah.
while
What
are
where
you in a?
what site are you on?
It's just Google Images.
Okay, cool. Okay.
But let's see. Are you in a big room with other people? You said.
Yes,
Okay, so everybody's having their own thing going on.
yes.
Okay, because there's a bench here. There's looks like a place where people are gonna get chained up.
Okay,
Um,
I know where you're at. Okay, cool. Yes.
That's the room you're in?
It's in Maryland. It's
Yeah.
probably the room that's in. Yeah,
No,
not right now, but
this one's not in Maryland. I don't know where this one is, but I'm
oh,
just
okay.
thinking like maybe all the dungeons have similar pieces of equipment in there.
That some of them do. Some of them are like, how can I explain it? Some of them are like in garages. Some of them are like just
Oh, okay.
in warehouses. You
Oh, I see.
know.
So this place that you go to doesn't have a sign outside?
No,
I
no. So
see.
it's kind of like Fight Club,
Yeah,
kind
I
of like
got you.
that. Kind of like your radio stations, very
Yeah,
underground, very
nice.
like
So you
you
don't have to
find it,
pay.
you find it. You do.
Oh, you do have to pay.
So each each weekend has a party, and you whatever the theme is and whatever the price is what you pay.
Oh, I see. And how'd you hear?
Yeah.
How'd you find out about this place?
My God. My therapist.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah. So I was I'll be honest. I was going through like a period where I was just doing asking random people
yeah,
to do stuff
yeah.
that wasn't very consensual. So
Oh,
that was the issue. Is
I see.
what was I was going through. Yeah.
It must have been a hard topic to breach. I mean, I don't fault you for trying to get your needs met,
I know, right?
but for most people, what they would call, I don't know if you know the terminology, they would call them vanilla,
Yes.
right? So it's
Yep.
probably a little shocking to them, but you got to do what you got to do to get your needs met, bro. You only get one chance in life, so don't feel bad that
Uh,
you tried something and it got you to where you're at now. So
yeah,
must have
yeah,
been a
yeah.
good step in the right direction,
I guess so. I was doing some weird shit.
bro.
But especially when I was meeting you, it was like I was delving in some just crazy ways of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that too.
No, I hear
You know. So
you. What else is going on?
do you have a
Oh, go ahead.
regular? We'll move on because normally I go over the news and I'll read the
Yeah.
news and then you could give us your insight. But do you have a regular would
No.
you call it a dominatrix or
No, I do not. I
okay?
mean, I do,
So
but I
whoever's there.
don't. It's just whoever's there,
Okay.
and I do my little spiel,
But it's
and
probably a
then
regular crowd though, right?
oh, it depends. Yeah, usually the regular crowds. Usually you get people from DC or Pennsylvania or Delaware.
Oh,
Some from
wow.
New York, but not often.
It's a long trip. Okay, so
Oh
Rick
yeah,
Rick in the chat says, "I want to know his therapist."
yeah. Well, can't tell you that, Rick. So
So you
sorry,
told
Rick.
your therapist and they hooked you up. That's a good therapist.
Yeah, kind
That's a
of
good
in a
friend.
weird way. Yeah, yeah.
And then he says it's better to have no regrets.
Oh, thank you.
I think
Uh,
there's a
true.
song better to regret something you did than something you didn't do.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Cool, cool. Well, man, I feel like I'm learning something new about you, Ray.
I
You're
know,
you're a
right?
complex
I should have told you
individual.
this earlier. I try. I miss doing this show with you. I miss doing it. It was fun, and then
We're gonna make it a regular thing, all right?
all right, cool.
You're too cool to not do it.
Aw, nice. It means a lot.
I'm pretty vanilla. I like light bondage. Like I like to tie my girlfriend up.
Oh,
But
totally.
I want
Do
to
you use
learn.
rope or
I usually use a sash. That's just what I have.
okay?
But I want to learn. I actually want to be trained in shibari.
Oh my gosh, you need to. We'll talk later. We'll
Uh,
definitely talk later.
nice.
I could probably help
Oh
you out.
shoot.
Help you out.
I freaking typed in shibari in Google and there's pictures of titties. I hope my
Oh,
channel
okay.
doesn't get banned. I've
Oh,
had my
Jesus
channel shut
Christ.
down a couple of times.
Why? Or you would not want to
Um,
tell?
one time, well, because I do natural healing. So one time
Yeah.
I showed a video of when I did a cleanse. I had
Oh, cool.
a parasite come out in my poop.
Oh, okay.
and they and they said I can't be showing video of my poop. So I got
Oh
banned for
shit.
2 weeks. That
Have
was
you
one.
um have you ever, and I guess we could actually chat about it. Have you ever thought about doing Twitch?
Yes. As a
Because
matter
that's
of
a
fact,
big niche.
what is?
Twitch.
Oh,
Like you
Twitch
can
is a
get like
niche.
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good way to get more people,
Okay.
more eyes on you.
I'm gonna start doing multi-stream, which is
Oh
basically
shit.
um,
Yeah.
when right now I'm streaming to YouTube, but I'll
Oh
start
shit.
streaming
What's
to
your
YouTube and Twitch at the same time.
Yeah. I totally forgot that you were on YouTube, and I don't remember what your thing was. You might have to
Um,
send it to me.
the channel is yeah. I'll text. But you're using your phone, so you won't be able to click on it. I'll text it to you anyway. You can
Yes, I
click.
will.
You click on it after. Oh, you will. Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So let's see. I'm gonna go to YouTube and I'm gonna click on my channel and let's see here. Okay. So copy. Okay. And then here. I hope this doesn't end the call if I text you. Let's see.
Uh,
If it does, I'll just call you back.
all right. Or I'll call you back.
YouTube.com/Master Lucky's LOC. Okay. No, it didn't end the
Oh
call.
God.
Cool.
Okay. Good.
All right. So you can see that we're live, and let's see. I have a. I think what happened was a a screw got knocked
Somebody
loose
say.
when I was fighting,
Ah,
and
gotcha.
I'm kind of like crazy now, and I think that there's a secret government program that is sending me these news articles to have a show because the government wants me to be like a leader of the next generation, somebody who's
Oh
in,
shit.
into like health and fitness and not like just some random streamer that that makes content that's I don't know. There's a lot of different streamers, but you got guys
Yeah.
like that kids look up to. The kids look up to the streamers, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I
They
think
do.
I think I'm different in a good way.
Well, that and you have like I mean I don't know if you want to use it, but you have like kind of like a UFC on your back. Does that make sense? Like you
Yeah.
could use that as a way of like not bashing them, but you could use it like, hey, I see a UFC fighter.
Mhm.
This is the damage that they don't tell you
Mm.
about. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay. So if any of these topics are triggering to you, you just let me know and we'll move on. Just say next.
Uh,
Okay. So this story comes from Newsweek. It's so messed up in quotes. Woman put on Adderall aged at age 7 beats a
oh,
28-year addiction. And she's got an Instagram post here. It says POV, point of view. You were put on Adderall at 7 because you were quote too much and it controlled your life and made you addicted to everything. So you walked away at 35 and you've never been happier or calmer. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. I always
okay.
felt different from everyone else when I was growing up. But instead of being embraced for the differences that come with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I was punished and put on medicine at such a young and pivotal age. Indeed, Ricky Friedman was just 7 years old when she was first given commonly prescribed ADHD drug Adderall, and she is far from alone. Ribbit. Nearly 1 in 10 children suffer with ADHD in the U.S., according to statistics, and from 2016 to 2019, the age group with the highest rate of diagnoses was those aged 12 to 17. Recent studies show that 3% of children in grades 8, 10, and 12 had been prescribed Adderall within the previous year. She says, I was your poster child for ADHD, energetic, creative, outspoken, always getting into trouble at school. I think my parents thought they were doing the right thing by putting me on at 7 years old because it was really the only solution then. But I barely understood my ADHD at the time, and losing my mom to cancer at 13 made it even less of a priority. Wow, she's actually really pretty too. Um,
Hmm.
Ricky Friedman. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. The next paragraph says, "What is Adderall? Um, Adderall and ADHD in children." Let's go to
Oh,
the
wow.
end of this story here. Addiction into adulthood. This is something Friedman can speak to all too well. It's hard to truly understand how much it affected me as I've been on it for 4/5 of my life, she said, but I know that it made me someone who felt incredibly disconnected to their body, and it also caused me to have multiple other addictions, such as food and weed. Because I was constantly overstimulated and needed a high. I was addicted to weed for over 10 years. The compounds in Adderall make it highly addictive, and prolonged use can encourage a dependence which can manifest to an addiction, she said. That's why it's so messed up, she says, because when you're on something for so long, you don't see it as an addiction, but taking a medicine for 28 years, especially stimulants, you overlook the addiction part. It got so bad that I was buying it from the streets because I could only get a certain dose from my doctor. I don't blame my doctor for this, but I do resent them for not trying to get me off this medication earlier in my life. Deciding to come off felt like a big hurdle, and the challenge just began. Finally, earlier this year, after almost 3 decades, she decided it was time to quit. Withdrawal was really hard, but now I was more scared to stay on it than to walk away. Going cold turkey is not as dangerous as alcohol or benzos, but the severity depends on the extent of the use. Uh, Withdrawal includes fatigue, insomnia, headaches, seizures, anxiety, cravings, trouble concentrating, irritability, depression, and suicidal thoughts. Oh no. Some of these symptoms may last for months. She refused to work with doctors during her detox because she didn't trust them anymore. She says, I'm pretty stubborn and also knew in my heart that they wouldn't agree with my hopes to have a more holistic approach. And honestly, I lost a lot of faith in them. I knew they'd want to send me to a detox center and pump me up with more drugs, and there was no chance in hell I was doing that. I created my own plan, changed my diet, and worked on my mindset. I had faith in myself that I could do this on my own. I lowered my dose by more than half within a month and made a big effort to eat as healthy as possible, and once I had that in place, I stopped fully. I was in bed for 8 days straight, and it took me a full month to feel normal again. But I slept a lot, walked a lot, danced a lot, and created new routines to move me through. I'm now 8 months off and still have gut issues. I gained 8 pounds, but I'm happier, healthier, more stable, and present than I've ever been. Family and friends been supportive, telling her she's much calmer, engaged, and present. And I'm gonna stop there. We'll just read one more paragraph. She lives in Los Angeles and now works as a motivational speaker and is creator of the Steps Forward with Ricky podcast, mentoring others in how to walk away from addiction. Wow, I'm gonna Google that. Steps Forward with Ricky. Search Google. Now, this reliance on drugs to fix problems creates so many addicts who have no idea who they are and who are living in a constant state of fight or flight mode, she said. I'm not against getting support or help with medicine, but as somebody who came off after 28 years, my biggest lesson is this: you can live without the thing you never thought you could live without, and you can live even better without it. Thank you, Ricky, for teaching us that. And here's her YouTube channel. Steps Forward with Ricky. You're gonna get a sub from me, and I'm gonna pull away. I'm gonna pull up her thing in the background here, but I'm not gonna play the sound. We'll just look at the video. So, Rick says, "Good story." I am off weed now after, let's see, I started when I was 15 on and off, so that's a long time, almost 30 years. I wouldn't say I was ever addicted to it because I've quit it several times, and I can I had the ability to quit it at any time. Um, but I will say that I agree with what she says at the end here. You thought you couldn't live without it, and you can live even better without it. I like being off weed. I do like using weed occasionally. You know, it makes things like training really fun, and being with my girlfriend is fun. Listening to music is interesting on weed and stuff, but there's a time and a place for anything. You have any experience with drugs or anything that you could relate to this story there, Mr. Ray's
Uh,
Callis?
I did gummies once.
Yeah, you took weed gummies?
That was entertaining. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I could eat more, so
Mm.
I tried it. It was very interesting because my body's very low. So I was I know not to drive with them on.
Mm.
It was awesome. But I don't condone it. I don't condone it.
Well, I
But
mean, weed gummies is legal now. It's not. I don't. It's nothing that anybody should be ashamed about or even have a negative viewpoint about. If it's not your medicine, it's not your medicine. You don't have to take it. But
yeah,
don't think that you have to condone it or not condone it because to me it's just like another type of medication that you could get over the counter these days. You can get a prescription
that's
for it.
true.
In certain places like New York and Massachusetts, you don't even need a prescription. You could just get it.
Ooh.
But
No, I'm just thinking about it.
yeah, I mean it's not your medicine, but I think it's a really great story that you have because you know you had you had this um, normal adult desire for sexual contact.
Hmm.
That's not something that's out of the ordinary at all because there's a reason for sex. There's a reason why people like sometimes I think I'm like it's just so weird sometimes like just thinking about the act of sex like of all the things like you take a you take an apple, right? And you look at an apple and it's just got like this shape, but it's not a perfect circle. It's not a square. There's no straight lines. But then you think about sex and you're like, "Well, why is it so important?" Like it doesn't I mean, it makes sense, but when you think about it, it's almost weird. It's like you got these
Yeah,
body
oh yeah.
parts. You got these body parts coming together and it's like why do people kiss each other? It's like of all the things that you could do, it's like okay, I get like you get a massage, that feels good. It helps your body heal and stuff like that. But like to kiss somebody, I mean, you saying you're making out with your friends or your I don't know if you call them friends, but you making out with people
That's fine.
in the dungeon. Um, and I get it. I love making out with my girlfriend, but it's just like one of them. I guess is random the right word? I don't know. It's just
Random?
I don't do animals make out. It's, it's,
I don't think so.
but what I'm trying to get at is you had a I wouldn't even call it a condition, but you had a desire, and you found a way to satisfy that. You didn't need any external substances.
No.
You could have gone to a therapist, sometimes they prescribe medicine and stuff like that. But you ended up with a good therapist, and they just prescribed an
Better way, I
activity,
guess. Yeah, yeah.
almost like an exercise. For
Think about that.
for the symptoms that I have of anxiety and depression, exercise is one of the best things for it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't need weed to to be in a good mood, especially if I'm training regularly and working towards my goals. Part of me will never be satisfied until I'm able to do what I set out to do, meaning build a safety fight league and have enough of an established career in that field where I'll be able to support my family like we had planned. You know, when you knew
Yeah.
me back then from UFC, me and her, my ex-wife, we had a plan. It was like a 5 to 10 year plan of me becoming a and eventually a gym owner, and then she wouldn't have to work anymore and she could do homeschooling for the kids. And because of the destructive nature of the fighting, you know, the
Yeah.
wrench kind of got thrown in there, and the last 15 years has went by like the snap of a finger. And I try not to get depressed about it and look at where I'm at now, but if I look at where I was and then also look at where I could be, kind of motivates me. You know, because I made a lot of promises. I told a lot of people that I'm gonna come get them. You,
Yeah.
people, other people, I've said that I'm gonna put them up in this building, and so I'm gonna honor that. I told my ex-wife's sister, who lives in Arizona,
Ooh.
when we went out there after my one of my last fights, and I proposed to her in her sister's backyard. I proposed to we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, and I proposed to her in her sister's backyard. And then when we left, you know, when we were getting on the plane to go back to New York, her sister was crying. I'm gonna miss you, yada yada. I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring her back. I'm gonna move her back to Arizona because that's where she's from.
Ah.
So, you know, I'm not super religious, meaning I don't like I go to church once in a while with my dad, but I'm very spiritual. I believe that everything happens for a reason, Ray.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I believe we met
Like
for a reason.
oh yeah. Like we've been friends for a while. And we always find each other. You know, even
Nice.
when I don't talk to you for a while, we always seem to figure out a way to like come back and just like we never stop talking. I don't know if
Facts.
that makes sense, but yeah.
100%. And even though I'm not where I want to be right now as far as having a bus to come get you, there has been developments, and we don't have to talk about it now, but basically we have things that are in place that weren't in place back then. So it's gonna get
Ooh,
there. I'm keeping the faith,
sweet.
Ray. 100%.
I got
Keeping
you.
the faith.
I know.
Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna move on now. Okay. Have you ever
Sweet.
heard of Smile Direct Club?
No, that sounds.
I actually, I'm gonna take credit for this because it's a company that you heard of Invisalign.
Yes.
Okay, so Smile Direct Club is like a less expensive Invisalign, and it's cheaper because you don't have to go to a dentist. They just send you the molds, you do it yourself,
Ooh.
and then they send you the kit. And my dumbass, I wanted to fix my teeth faster than the four to
Ah.
6 months. So I went through the aligners too fast, and I ruined like it didn't work because I ruined it basically. And then I didn't pay them, and they kept sending the bill collectors after me. But now this story says Smile Direct Club shut down.
Ah.
International direct-to-consumer dentistry and orthodontistry company that sold teeth aligners has shut down less than 3 months after filing for bankruptcy. You see, I didn't pay them, and now they're out of business.
It's all your fault.
Sorry, guys.
I know. Jeez.
All right, well, I guess we don't have to comment on that, but let's move on.
Oh, please do.
What to know? Oh,
Ooh.
what to know about the dangerous bacteria found in powdered baby formula? Mm, I
That's a
don't know.
little.
What do you think?
Doesn't
Pass?
sound too exciting. Yeah, we
Uh,
can pass that one.
pass. You ever
Good
heard
deal.
of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?
Oh yeah.
The expensive, daunting fight to get RFK Jr.'s name on state ballots.
Ooh.
Um, do you vote?
Do I vote? Um, well, I used to, and then it's just, I don't know. I feel like nothing happened.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I get what you're saying.
People get mad and want to fight each other for no reason.
My opinion is that RFK Jr. is a plant. They're
Ooh,
they're running him because he's kind of like
they chose someone.
a conservative Democrat, and he's gonna foil Donald Trump's uh, run. They're gonna have people that would have voted for Trump. They're gonna vote for RFK Jr. because he's
Ah,
anti-vax and a couple other things. So Trump's gonna lose votes to RFK Jr. And the real winner is gonna be the Democratic nominee, which I'm calling it now, is
okay.
Michelle Obama,
Ah,
next president of
you
the
might be
United
right.
States.
You might be right. You might be right.
Okay, this is interesting. Missing space tomato found. The space
Huh.
grown fruit mysteriously disappeared 8 months ago. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station have announced the discovery of an elusive space grown dwarf tomato that went missing over 8 months ago. Do you believe, Ray, that we landed on the moon, or are you a conspiracy theorist that thinks the moon landing was faked?
Um, I believe that we, I don't want to be devil's advocate. I believe that we did,
Okay.
travel to the moon. We walked on the moon and stuff like that. But I was not born yet, so I don't know what really happened.
Okay. Um, we're gonna
Could be a
move on.
bunch of AI. I don't know.
Ukraine threatens Olympic boycott. They
Ooh.
expressed outrage over the International Olympic Committee's decision to allow Russian athletes to compete under a neutral flag. Oh, we're going to get your opinion on this one, Ray. Let me just
Oh,
read this real
please
quick.
do.
Ukraine plans to assess whether or not participating in the Paris 2024 Olympics is in the country's interests and could potentially boycott the Games, Acting Minister of Youth and Sports Matvey Bedny announced over the weekend. Oh, excuse me. The statement comes after the International Olympic Committee ruled on Friday to allow Russian and Belarusian athletes to compete in the Games under a neutral flag. What's a neutral flag? Is that
Wow.
like a white flag or something?
Okay.
Could you imagine? Like, you can't even. It's a piece of fabric. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Kiev has branded. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine. Has branded the decision,
Okay.
quote, irresponsible. Speaking on TV, Bedny stated that they'd only compete. Ukraine would only compete in the Olympic Games if it believes that doing so would promote our position in the world. However, he stressed that if the International Olympic Committee pursues its unconstructive position of allowing Russian athletes to take part in the Games, Kiev would see its own participation as impossible. This isn't just sport. This is a question of foreign policy, he said, stressing that we must keep a cool head and make informed decisions. They've not yet officially announced any decision to boycott the games, but he stated that an announcement would be made after consultations are held with the Ukrainian sports community and the country's political leadership. In its official announcement that Russian and Belarusian nationals would be allowed to take part in the upcoming games as individual neutral athletes, the International Olympic Committee also laid out a set of requirements that they would have to meet. They include a ban on competing in team sports, expressing any sort of support for Russia's military operation against Ukraine, or being a part of any military or security organizations. Athletes will also be required to meet the anti doping regulations established by international federations. Any flags, colors, or other identifications representing the two nations will also be banned at the event, as will any government officials who will not be invited or accredited for the Games. Although the decision technically permitted them to compete, of the 4,600 athletes who have qualified, only 11 from those two countries have made the list.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, Russia slammed the ruling, describing the term set out as humiliating. Last month, Putin also claimed that the Olympic movement has changed for the worse in recent years and that it was now being used to pressure people who have no connection to politics to accept certain viewpoints, a practice he described as racist and ethnic discrimination.
Oh, Jesus.
What do you think, Ray?
I think that's terrible. I mean, they should be able to honor or represent their country and, you know, flag or no flag. That's what I feel.
So, if you were head of the International Olympic Committee, you would let Russian and Belarusian athletes compete just like every other team.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
Like at the end of the day, they're all trying to prove who is the better athlete in their country, and you know, if they qualify for it, so why can't they be a part of it?
It definitely seems like a political move that's not based
Yeah.
in logic. But maybe, see, I always think there's got to be like some financial reason. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. I'm thinking, like, what could be the benefit that they would get from not having those athletes in?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some there's some type of financial motivation, like because Russian athletes are really good and have, won medals in the past. They want other countries to, get a chance
Hmm.
to promote the sport in that country. So say we'll just use Ukraine as an example. Say because the Russians aren't in a particular team sport, the Ukrainian team wins. Now the kids in the Ukraine they're looking up to their Olympic heroes, and now whatever sport that was becomes a bigger sport in Ukraine. So more
Yeah.
money goes to whatever sport that was, whether it's soccer or hockey. I don't know which Olympics. It's the Summer Olympics, so it'd be things like track and field, boxing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So the International Olympic Committee is in the business of promoting sport. And so this
Mhm.
is a political move with financial repercussions of increased investment in sport in whatever countries are going to do better now that Russians and Belarusians are not in the games. I could be reaching on that one, but that's my initial conspiracy theory. Hey Rick, are you still in the chat? What do you think? What do you think? Give us your opinion. You don't have to give us a conspiracy like me, but what do you think? Would if you were head of the International Olympic Committee like Ray, would you let the Russians compete? Would you let them compete under their own flag? And would you let them compete in the team sports? Because this is crazy. Four 4,600 athletes that qualified, only 11 are going to be able to participate. So that's 4,589 athletes that are SOL now. You know what SOL means, Ray?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Shit out of them. Yep.
I mean, come on, bro. So, let me ask you this, though, Ray. You let the Russians in, and now the Ukrainians say, well, if the Russians are doing it, we're not. What do you say to that?
Well, I mean, I guess they don't get to play. I don't know.
Okay.
That's their issues, not mine.
Okay.
I don't get paid for all of that now. Good Lord.
Ray says tough noogies. Rick says that's sovereignty.
Yeah.
Okay, let me look this word up. Sovereignty.
Maybe we should have Rick on next time.
We're gonna have another day. This is your day, Ray. Supreme
Oh,
power or authority. The authority of a state to govern itself or another state. A self-governing state. Okay. So it's interesting. I thought sovereignty could be about a person, but all these definitions are about a state. Sovereignty is the right of a government to have complete control over its area. The idea that this right comes from doing good things for the people under control of the government is as old as ancient Greece, if not older. Okay. What does it mean for people to have sovereignty? In modern democracies, sovereign power rests with the people and is exercised through representative bodies such as Congress or Parliament. The sovereign is the one who exercises power without limitation. Sovereignty is essentially the power to make laws, even as Blackstone defined it. Okay. Well, see, the only thing now I'm gonna play devil's advocate, right? The only thing I would say is that the International Olympic Committee can do whatever the f they want.
true.
So Rick, you're saying that's sovereignty, but it's like, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to, type of thing. If they don't want to play with you, they're going to take their ball and go home. That's up to them. It is a private organization, I think. Let me just check. Is the Olympics a private business? Established on June 23rd, 1894. The International Olympic Committee is a not-for-profit, independent, international organization. The International Olympic Committee and the organizations that make up the Olympic movement are entirely privately funded. So I was correct. They can do whatever the hell they want. But that doesn't make it right. We're supposed to
Nope.
lead by example, man. These athletes. What the heck? My OBS disconnected? Hold on, let me see if I'm still streaming. I don't know what just happened. Hold on a second.
I mean, you're still showing us streaming on my end.
Okay.
No.
Give it like
I
15
don't.
seconds because it might be. What the heck? My OBS disconnected? Hold on, let me see if I'm still streaming. Okay, we're still good. That was kind of worrisome, but the athletes. Oh, Rick's saying the athletes should be sovereign. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys. I'm just, I guess, trying to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Oh.
I was gonna say something, but then I got scared with that sound. So let's go to the next story. Ooh, this might be the last one for the night, Ray, because I really only stream for like
Oh.
an hour or so because I do have to get sleep and come and get after it again tomorrow. But I do want to get your input on this because you know you're a fan of MMA. You're a fan
Uh,
of um, professional wrestling,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we learned a lot about chronic traumatic encephalopathy from uh, that poor guy. What's his name? The Crippler.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Yep.
those flying headbutts. So apparently there was a mass shooting in Lewiston, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
No, Maine. Sorry, Maine. Lewiston,
yeah.
Maine. The title of this is it's from CNN. It says Lewiston mass shooters brain tissue being tested for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Tissue
Oh,
samples from the brain of the shooter who killed 18 people during an October rampage at a bowling alley and a restaurant in Maine have been sent to CTE experts in Massachusetts, according to the state's medical examiner's office. Ooh, Massachusetts. Are there CTE experts in Massachusetts? I gotta get up there. I gotta take the league up there. That sounds like people I'd want to work with. I think there's also a Gracie. There's a female Gracie who's up there, and she's got a whole organization, a foundation about it.
oh,
Anyway, Robert Card, 40 years old, died of a self inflicted gunshot wound. His body was found 2 days after the deadly mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine on October 25th amid an ongoing manhunt across the region for the gunman. His body was found near a recycling center he'd recently been fired from. A law enforcement. You still there?
yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, that was weird. Did somebody call you or somebody call me? Oh, wait.
No,
I
no.
think somebody's trying to call me. Let me just see something here. Oh, Dr. Jubb's calling me. I'm going to have to call him back.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Dr. Jubb. I'll call you tomorrow. I did get a new headset though, so we're going to have a good show. He was he told me that my microphone wasn't good. So, it was like
Yeah.
a static in the background, so I got a new microphone
Ah,
headset. Um, His body was found near a recycling center he'd recently been fired from. The chief medical examiner requested the testing be conducted on the brain on his brain due to the combined history of military experience and actions. He was a U.S. Army reservist and certified firearms instructor who'd been hospitalized and ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation 3 months before the shooting. He had no combat deployments, according to records. Results from the tissue tests are expected in 6 to 8 months. Yo,
okay.
that's a long time. The samples were sent in late November, the earliest they'd the earliest they could send them. A spokesperson for Boston University's CTE Center, where the samples were sent, declined to comment, citing a policy that they cannot discuss any current, past, or potential cases without written consent. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy can be a debilitating neurological disorder caused by repeated blows to the head. It's a form of dementia that can include symptoms of depression, anger, and forgetfulness, and is diagnosed only after death through brain samples taken from an autopsy. A federal law enforcement source told CNN that the Army gave him a command referral to seek treatment for hearing voices and for having thoughts about hurting other soldiers.
Oh,
He was transported to the Keller Army Community Hospital at the U.S. Military Academy for medical evaluation after he was reported for behaving erratically. Concussion Legacy Foundation CEO Chris Nowinski told CNN anything that causes the brain to move around violently can lead to this disease, including the type of training Army reservists may be exposed to, such as being around explosives or hand to hand combat and paratrooper training. Nowinski's group collaborates with the Boston University CT Center where the tissue samples were being tested. Nowinski has not seen Card's samples, is not employed by the center, and is not a spokesperson. But the Concussion Legacy Foundation and the CT Center have spearheaded much of the research in the U.S. I don't think we have enough experience studying veterans in general to understand the risk of CTE. So, a lot of people who go into the military already have contact sport exposure. They played high school football or something, and then when they're in service, some aspects of service will expose them to traumatic brain injuries. He points out that these injuries can also be associated with violent behavior, not just chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Traumatic brain injuries don't always lead to a clear diagnosis post mortem, he said. And because CT is best associated with cognitive decline, it can be harder to diagnose in younger people like this guy. If it's found, it proves a history of repetitive traumatic brain injuries, but we couldn't be certain if the behavior was more associated with the traumatic brain injuries or the CTE, he added. Well, I think it's kind of silly because why do you have to separate? Traumatic brain injury causes CTE. It's the same thing. You don't have to call it two different things. If it's caused by traumatic brain injury or if it's caused by CTE, CT isn't even really a thing. If they can only diagnose it after somebody's dead, how is that even a disease? Isn't a disease in a living person? The traumatic brain injury is the disease, and it's not even a disease. Like you don't catch it from a germ or something. It's it's an injury. You ever have any besides me?
Mhm.
Do you have any friends that got brain injury, Ray?
um, you might be the only one
Okay.
that I know of. Yeah.
And mine was fairly mild. I mean, I do have depression, and it did ruin my life, but my physical symptoms aren't as bad as somebody like this. Like, I don't want to hurt anybody else. I
No.
sometimes get really depressed and I think, dark thoughts, but um, I never want to hurt anybody else or, you know, maybe I hallucinate sometimes. I think I hear things, but I'm definitely hearing something that's there. Like I'll hear two people
Yeah.
talking and they are actually talking, but I might hallucinate what they're saying. Like if I can't really hear it, what I just try to make it out, but then like I assume that they're saying something, but I don't know for sure if that's what they're actually saying or if it's a hallucination.
Gotcha.
Um, so since you don't really know anybody else with traumatic brain injury, do you know anybody who has, or maybe you have, do you ever get depressed or anxious, or can you relate to
Oh,
anything in this story?
yes. So in October, my chair got broke. So I was without a chair for the whole of October. So I fell into a deep depression. So I can totally relate.
You said your chair?
Yeah, my power chair was messed up.
Oh man, so isn't that covered by insurance?
It is. It's just it. I had to go through insurance, and then the people that make it
Oh,
and get them to talk together because they thought I needed one part,
mm,
but I needed a new part, and that's where it got all confusion.
oh my God. I can
Yeah.
imagine how slow that insurance company stuff takes.
Oh yeah, we're still well. I'm still waiting on the chair to be fixed. So
Oh, so how you getting around now? You have a different chair
I have
or?
a loaner chair that
Okay,
I'm using.
I got you.
Yep. Yep.
And it's electric, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you have to
It is.
charge it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just
Kind
got
of like
a
a my car.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a Tesla.
there you go. Yeah.
How fast can you go?
Really fast. I mean, I could
It
depends.
doesn't have a meter on it.
This one does not. No.
Okay. I just got a Christmas gift from um I guess you can call him my employer. Basically
Okay.
a couple of years ago, probably 5 years ago now, a a a jujitsu master came to teach at the gym where I train. And
Ooh.
when I first got there, it was only kickboxing. But I started
Ah.
teaching grappling and MMA, even though I'm not a good grappler, I know the basics, right? So I
Yeah.
basically turned it into an MMA gym, and then the owner brought in a jiu-jitsu master. So now we have like a full, complete program of MMA, and our jiu-jitsu coach is actually incredible. The way that he had a lot of success on the competition scene, but then I don't know if you follow like pure grappling. There's been a lot of recent developments, like within the past 5 to 10 years, that completely changed jujitsu and grappling. It's very
Oh yeah.
different from when like Hoist Gracie was winning. You know, you have a whole system of leg locks that completely changed the game, and then
Yeah.
when people started learning how to defend the leg locks, then the game changed again. And
Oh
so
yeah.
our coach, his nickname is Ace. He's
Oh shit.
he's um, he's always learning what's the the best moves, and so he's spent thousands and thousands of dollars um, on video trainings of like all the best grapplers. They put out video trainings and they're obviously making money
Yeah.
on it, but they're teaching their methods. So his 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 teaching is cutting edge. And anyway, he's in the military. He's a
Mhm.
combatives instructor, which is not just hand-to-hand fighting, but also gunfighting.
Oh wow.
Complete badass. And then a lot of the guys that I train with now are his coworkers. So
Oh
it's
wow.
just like super soldiers on the mat every day. And I basically babysit 4 hours a day for him because his wife is in school now. She went back to school for computer science or hacking, I
Oh
think,
cool.
like hacking the hacking security. I think they call it some type of something secure cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so
Uh yeah.
he bought me a an electric scooter for Christmas.
Ah.
That's what it was. So that's why I
Oh
was asking
cool.
you how fast your thing goes, because this thing actually zips, and it's a little scary to be honest. Um, I
Really?
I borrowed the scooter from my student, one of my students, and because I had to go somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, you said you would let me borrow it, right?" He said, "Yeah." So I borrowed it for like 2 3 weeks, and then he was trying to sell it because he has an even faster one, so he's trying to sell the old one. So I gave it back to him, but then he ended up selling it to my grappling coach, who was buying it for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I like it. I'm a little worried because 19 miles an hour is freaking fast.
Yeah.
It's not like 2 months ago I fell on a Razor scooter, which isn't even electric. It's just like powered by you just kick your leg and fucking it goes like 5 miles an hour. And I fell off that and I hurt my shoulder pretty bad. If I fall on a 19 miles an hour scooter, I'm probably gonna need hospitalization, bro. To be honest,
Ah.
and
Yeah.
I need to be healthy. So I got a helmet. I try to drive as safe as possible. If it's nighttime, I go on the sidewalk. But it's a little shaky. Like bumps, doesn't handle bumps very good.
Ooh,
Luckily,
yeah.
luckily everything that I do is kind of close by. But sometimes I'll go on a trip, and God willing, I do believe I'm on a mission, a spiritual mission. So I'm kind of blessed that
Ooh.
I've made it this far, and I'm not overly worried. I'm just cautious,
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna end soon, but let's bring it back full circle, Ray, because I just thought of something. What kind of rules do you have to follow when you go to the dungeon? Is there like something you have to sign any consent forms, or do you have to speak about with your partner, like what's gonna happen, what's not gonna happen, stuff like that?
So yeah, so you do gotta sign like a consent form, and then whoever that you decide that's willing to do it, You just gotta like negotiate, like, hey, can I touch you here? Can I do this? Can I do that? Either they say yes or they say no, or sometimes it's on the fly. So, you could just call it while you're doing it. Um, but if you have like somebody like if you have a girlfriend or somebody that you dealt with a long time, then you don't really need to talk about it much because you know what her boundaries are and go from there.
So when you go, you don't know who you're gonna be with, or you do.
No, no, I don't.
You
I
don't.
don't. Sometimes I plan it, but other times I don't.
Okay. I googled sex dungeon consent form, and you got BDSM consent form, fill online, printable, fillable blank. BDSM consent form, fill out and sign printable PDF. Okay, I'm gonna go with the first one here. Let's just see here. Get form. Oh, I gotta sign in. Hold on, let me go back. Give out any get form. They're both asking for it. All right,
All
whatever.
right. Well,
I guess I'm gonna have to wait. What if I click on images? Here we go. Age play. Oh, not gonna click on that. Age play
all
seems
right.
a
Well,
little sus. Here we go.
yeah, yeah. It can be.
Although I did one time change a grown man's diaper because he had a kink where
Oh,
he was like abandoned as a child and he wanted to be cared for uh, like he wanted to wear a diaper and and be cared for. So nothing
so
sexual,
should
just
I'm
he
sure.
pooped himself.
Oh, okay.
He had a little bit of digestive problems, but it says I blank fill in your name hereby declare under penalty or perjury that I'm over 18 years old. So you got to be over 18 to go there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Usually you have to be like either 19 or in college
Okay. I
in
further
high school.
declare that this agreement is of my own free will and that neither I nor anyone near or dear to me has been threatened with harm or embarrassment. Both parties agree that this is a private agreement not to be disclosed to third parties except in case of accusation of sexual but misconduct by the agreeing party. Oh, so they got to make sure that they can't be sued.
Yes,
So you had to sign a waiver.
yes.
I see. If if they show or make public disagreement without accusation of sexual misconduct, it's agreed that they'll be liable for damages for invasion of privacy. By initialing, I agree to engage in all of some of the following consensual acts. So on the waiver, did it have a list of things?
Um, tell you the truth, it
It's
does sound terrible. I just fill it out.
yeah. Yeah, it seems like
Um,
what you're
yeah,
into is you guys you agree to it verbally, so it's no big
yeah.
deal. Well, that's cool, bro. I'm happy for you. I'm kind of I wouldn't say jealous, but I'm happy for you definitely, and
Okay.
definitely something that I think is awesome. Like I said, I'm kind of into it. Not we don't have the same kinks, but I definitely would have a good time there for sure.
Oh, totally,
And
totally.
whether we meet up down there or meet up here, I'll take you to one. I've never been to one. What I do is just what I learned from watching 50 Shades and then looking up online and stuff. And it
I'm
started
sure
with
somebody, I'm sure if you go to one, somebody's be willing to teach you, right? Because you ask. Everybody's always nice there, and
yeah, but it's pay to play.
that is true. That is true.
I don't know if I have the funds to invest in Shibari training yet, but it might be. You know what? I'm gonna look up. You ever heard of Oh, I think I asked you. Udemy, right? I asked you about that. Let me look this up.
I think so.
Udemy is an online um course. Let's see here. Shibari Study, World's Best Shibari Tutorials. All right. Qigong Siri. All right. I'll look this up on my own time. But yo, Ray, thank you so much for giving me your time, bro.
Oh, anytime,
You know,
anytime.
you're an
Whatever you want
awesome
to do
dude.
it.
We're gonna do it
Oh,
again
anytime.
next week, okay? Make it a regular thing
Great.
if you're down.
I'm down
And
for it.
if there's, we'll stay in touch during the week though. And if there's something that comes up that you want to talk about, you want to address, personal, business, whatever, sports. Like I
Yeah.
said, I have these text messages that come in every day. We got through a few stories today. There's a lot more to go through, but if there's something you want to talk about, just either message me, text me, call me, or just you know try to remember, and we'll talk about it next week. How's that?
I will. I promise. I got you, bro.
You're the man. Thanks again, Rick. I'm wishing you good night, bro. If you're still in the chat,
Yes.
anybody else
Thank you, bro.
watching, have a great night, guys, and we'll be back tomorrow. Ray, we'll be back next week.
Yes.
Have a great night, bro, and have a great
Good
weekend.
night. I will.